Honorable members, I received a letter from one of your colleagues, the Honorable Andrew Esiema Amwako. Dear sir, declaration to do business with the MPP caucus. I, Andrew Esiema Amwako, an independent member of parliament for Formina constituency, and now the second deputy speaker for the A Parliament, do hereby declare that I shall, for purposes of transacting business in the House, associate with the MPP caucus in the same Parliament. For the avoidance of doubt, I do hereby affirm that I shall cooperate and collaborate with the MPP caucus in the 8th Parliament. Dated this 13th day of January, dated this 13th day of January 2021. Yours faithfully. Signed, Honorable Andrew Esiema Amwako, MP for Formina constituency, and copy to the leader of the MPP caucus. Honorable members, with this official declaration to the House, the House will accord him the space to do as he has stated. Whatever he said outside was of no effect so far as the business of the House is concerned. And therefore, he had to do it officially for it to be read and captured in the Hansard. And so what we have now, you have the New Patriotic Party wing or caucus in Parliament, together with the independent member of Parliament from Formina. And they now constitute the majority group.
All right. So you've heard. Okay. So you've heard the leader of parliament, His Excellency Honorable Abang-Gbagbe, announced the MPP as the majority in parliament. What is your assessment of that? And I'm going to start with. Let me start with Kwesi actually. Kwesi, what is your assessment of this? You know that the NDC is currently contesting few seats in parliament. And at this point, the two parties each have 170 137 each. And there is also the rule in Parliament that if you leave your party or if you're elected to Parliament based on a party's ticket and you decide to leave that party, you lose your seat. That was why the former MP was kicked out of Parliament, was kicked out of the seventh Parliament. So, bottling all that or taking all that together, what is your assessment of this announcement that NPP is actually the majority in Parliament?
I think I think we need to put things in perspective. The Honorable, Right Honorable Aban Sumani Bagbain specifically said the MPP plus the former MP made the majority group in Parliament. He didn't say the major because there's a difference between a group and a caucus. A caucus is made up of one specific political party. That is why the Right Honorable used the word group, because he cannot refer to any caucus within the confines of Parliament. The NDC is a caucus. The MPP is a caucus. The independent candidate is an independent candidate. The independent candidate and the MPP becomes the majority group. But I think, unlike the MPP, I think they might have lost focus on of what is important to the NDC, because we are not splitting heads over who is sitting on the left or the right. The Honorable Haruna Idrisu made this specifically clear a day before Friday that, listen, the NDC does not have a problem sitting on the left side, because the MPP seems to focus on the wrong things. Whilst we are focused on the number that this is not the previous parliament where they had about 60 more parliamentarians than we do. This is a parliament where they are struggling to get one independent candidate as part of their supposed majority. So we are not focusing on whether they want to claim the majority. They can put whatever name or whatever tag they want on themselves. But the reality is this parliament is not going to be a walkover parliament like it was in the 7th parliament. And I think Honorable Muntaka made this interesting analogy that Honorable Chairman Zabotu seems to be still hanged on to the fact that in the morning he went to Parliament with 169 members of Parliament. In the evening he came and there was 137. And maybe he was still thinking he still had 169 members of Parliament. He doesn't. So the quicker it gets to his head and he begins to come to reality with the fact that this is not a parliament where we used to have a Japa and a Mary Dews being inflated by $800 million. And this isn't going to happen. So the moment they come to terms with the fact that this is a different parliament, and as much as a lot of people are throwing this word around that Ghanaian people voted because they wanted the MPP and the NDC to work together, I personally don't buy that. I think the Ghanaian people clearly gave the NDC a majority in both the presidential and the parliamentary. We're still waiting for the Supreme Court to give this verdict. But clearly, this was a party that had 169 members of parliament, reduced to a struggling 137, where clearly about 5 or 6 of them were won with the help of the military, pretty much to rig the Ghanaian votes, the Ghanaian people of the people that they voted for. So I think we are not really hanged on these split on about who is minority and who is majority, because we know that our numbers are important. The NDC has consistently called for the fact that we want our numbers in Parliament to reflect in the decisions in Parliament. We want it to reflect on the chairmanship of committees in Parliament, and that is what is important to us. The MPP can call themselves whatever name helps them to sleep at night. They can come to Parliament 4 a.m. from now till the end of the 8th Parliament to ensure that they sit on the right side of the speaker anytime that they want. And we are going to be sleeping in our bed, getting enough sleep to make sure that when we come to Parliament, we're able to do the work assigned by the people of Ghana, for which we were duly, the members of the MDC were duly elected into the Parliament of Ghana in the 8th Parliament.
All right, you will be doing the work for the people of Ghana, for which you've been elected. Now, let me ask, Mr. Efa, you've heard Kwesi. Kwesi says they don't care. They don't care if, where you sit in Parliament. What they really care about is doing the job for which they've been elected. What do you say to the fact that, your party has been declared as the majority group in parliament, as rephrased by Kwesi?
Yeah, thank you. NDC, they do care. They had wished that the independent had joined them. If the independent had joined them, would they be making the same argument here? And Kwesi, there was no rigging in these elections. It is only the Supreme Court that can say that there was a particular rigging at any point in time, at any place. So until such a pronouncement is made, there was no rigging in these elections. NPP, we are focused. If we wake up at 4 a.m., we did not wake up at 4 a.m. to go and cause commotion. We wake up at 4 a.m. to go and make sure there is order, as we saw when the speaker was in the house. Compared to the other time when some people woke up early and all we saw was commotion. So let us see the differences in the two. We always want to make sure that reforms, orderliness, and things are going on as we expect. Now, at a point in time, the NDC was 100 and something, 114 or so, and we were like 107 or something. It changes, it swings, it changes, and that is the beauty of our politics. Let us pray that in 2024 your number is not going to come below 100, because today your number is 137. Now going to the substantive case, the substantive issue now. I think the speaker has ruled. The Fomena MP has joined the MPP part. So they form the majority group, whatever you want to put after majority, we now form the majority. So we're going to take it up from there. Now, what I'm expecting, again, going forward, what I'm expecting the parliament to do is to come up with some of these formula of how to work these things out. Now, Chairman Sabunsu has indicated that before the 7th parliament closed, he had hinted Haruna that it doesn't even augur well for us to have the majority takes care of all these things, and so let's work out something. You see, we pride ourselves with some of these little reforms because it helps. It helps. You see, the fact that when you are in government and therefore has control over certain things, it gives you certain advantage. We recognize that sometimes some of these things is the reason why there are so many tensions, or there's so much tension in our body politics. So over time, how do we bring in these little reforms so that we are not going to do this do or die thing? Because whether we like it or not, whether there's change of government, some people are going to be career parliamentarians. Because it's an institution of the state. It has come to stay. So how do we do that? So we have to be thinking, the legislative body has to be thinking of some of these reforms that will refine us, that will put us on the higher level, other than we come and we seem to be fighting and all of these kind of stuff. So Bagbin has ruled. It is a welcome news. At least it has brought in orderliness. Some people started to talk about premature whatever and stuff like that. Whatever is not good in there. Whatever we need to work on and reform on. Put all these things in place. It is human institution. It is not always going to be perfect. But once you identify something that is not good, you work on it. And then we move on from there. Other than that, after 2024, we will come back. And maybe, just maybe, there are about 10 or 20 independent candidates. No clear majority. And then now we're going to struggle. Who goes here, who goes there, who comes here, who comes over there, So for us, we are not disturbed. We think that Parliament is going to be responsible when it comes to passing of bills as they've been in the past. And this government has been responsible enough since 2017 that anytime there is an issue with anything, we have a president who will say, okay, if this is what he's saying, let's listen to them. Let's do the reforms. Let's do this. Let's do that. There has not been any way where we have bamboozled our way through. PDS was cancelled. And the Japan is still an ongoing process. If PDS needs to be tabled, it will be tabled. If a Japan needs to be tabled, it will be tabled. If we wanted to bamboozle our way through, we would have done it in the seventh parliament. But because it is a government full of people that think of Ghanaians, that the development is for Ghana, that whatever we are doing is for Ghanaians, wherever there is any criticism of a sort that is constructive, the president said, yes, let's take a look at what they are saying. Because like we say in Akan, so we take little bits and pieces out of here, join it together, and forward we go. So it is welcome. When an issue, when a law, when the budget is brought to Parliament, it's going to be debated. What is not good in there, we take it out. What is in there is good. What is good in, we keep it, and then we move on as a country. There's a lot that we need to do, in terms of education, in terms of infrastructure, health, agric, and all that. So let us focus on how we can go to the next level and not fight. It is not a do or die thing.
All right, thank you. It's not a do or die thing. Let me acknowledge a few people who are watching and some of the messages they are sending to us, and then we transition to. I know. Kwesi probably is thinking of replying to what he just said. But let's acknowledge a few people. When we get back, Kwesi, you can respond, and then also we want to transition to the petition. The petition that is has been filed by the former president John Dramani Mahama. So we have. Bright July is watching us all the way from Ketusam. Bright, thanks for watching. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Ghana Agenda is on. We have Vivian Betty is watching. Thanks, Vivian, for watching. We have Paul Delali Bisosu. Paul is watching. Paul, thank you so much for watching us. I know, right? And Spirit Recovery, Paul. Also, Rashid Santoma is watching us. Rashid, thank you for watching. We have Fafa Kudao is watching. Wahab Sadiq is watching. Wahab, thanks for watching. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Ghana Agenda is on every Sunday, and we usually are on for 1 hour. But I think we almost done with 1 hour. I'm going to plead with my guests if they can stick around for a few more minutes to deal with the other issues we table for discussion before we bring the program to an end. Now, there is a few comments also that I would like to read. So the first comment is coming from Mr. Ibrahim Mohammed. Ibrahim has been one of our big supporters. He's always watching our show, and we are grateful for that, Ibrahim. Ibrahim says, watching live from Ghana. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Ibrahim. And tell a friend to tell a friend that the Ghana Agenda is on every Sunday between 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're in Ghana, that is 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. The next message is coming from Paul D. Sosu again. Paul, thanks for your support. We are wishing you speedy recovery. You were supposed to be on the program, but we understand that there's something in the air that we pray that it doesn't overcome you, that you overcome it. Paul is saying hypocrisy at its highest level. The MPP's spokesperson. Okay, I think he's saying something to you, Mr. Afai. Mr. Afai, you would have the opportunity to respond to that. The next, again, comes from Paul. So Paul has been very active, typing, giving us feedback. We want you to submit your feedback. Please send us comments so we can read it live on air. Paul again says, good submission, Kwesi. So Paul is defending Kwesi or backing Kwesi and questioning the submissions that are coming from Mr. Afai, who's representing the MPP. So Mr. Afai, do you want to, let me do this. Before I bring you to respond, right? I need to go and get some money for Akko Radio. So let's get some money for Akko Radio. When we come back, you can respond to it.
Hey, this is your girl coming all the way from the US of A, yeah, baby, aka Yavantam. And me feel a bows in pan and to see one roach with your money how Ghana Mat other romantic. What's me sending provisions as I sutra credit Emma Ebusia Phone and the form one Ghana. And one is a www.ghanamat.com. And the say boy. A sharp connection. www.ghanamat.com. Let's try provisions in the credit. Na really I have friend numbers na mo screen aseno. Ghanamat ye crano.
All right. Okay, so we also have Mr. Collins Boahini, Kenya, watching. We have Olivia Amaseji also watching us, and Seth Evans. Seth Evans is watching us as well. Guys, big thank to all of you for watching. We want your comments to our panel so that I can provide answers if you have any questions. So, Mr. Efab, you've heard a few comments directed to you. Please quickly respond to that, and then we will go to the video where the lawyers representing the president, the former president, were in court presenting their petition, their request for an amendment. So let's get your response to what has been directed to you.
Yeah, to Paul. Yeah, to the guy that's a good show. Yeah, a good job. And then to Paul, I would say that yes, I agree that Kwesi is doing a great job. If Paul were to be here, we would be fighting by now. So I wish him speedy recovery so that he will come on for us to do some box on. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thanks for saying that. Mr. Bosilinga, thanks for watching and supporting. Bosilinga is one of our presenters in the ACO family. We are grateful for him watching and supporting and sending us comments. Bosilinga says, going to Parliament House just to sit on majority side is completely lame. Of course it's lame, right? Do you have anything to say before we transition to the courts?
I think my brother made a comment, and I think for some strange reason the MPP seems to think it's made up of all angels, and sometimes I can't fathom that where they get that idea from, because orderly people do not conspire to steal ballot papers, right? People that are orderly, they do not conspire to steal ballot papers. So if that's what they mean by being an orderly party, then all the best, and keep on being that orderly. And maybe in the next parliament, you'll be lucky to have 50 parliamentarians in parliament. Because I think, and I do agree with him that as a people and as a country, we need to ensure that Parliament does its best work, and that's what the NDC is going to ensure, to make sure that Parliament does its best work. He made a statement about the fact that the president is one that listens to both sides, and he's the one that takes constructive criticism. And you and I both know that is pulling it out of thin air, because there have been instances where the last Parliament, the 7th Parliament, which has been acclaimed to have passed the highest number of bills. For me, I think it's because the government made Parliament a rubber stamp like organization. In instances, we saw Parliament giving 24 hours to go through a whole draft of agreement to pass them. We need 24 hours. I'm sure if you gave a kindergarten class that amount of work to do, I'm sure they would have passed more bills in Parliament than probably the 7th Parliament did. We need Parliament to do a thorough job. We don't need a president and its government bringing documents to Parliament and giving Parliament 12 hours and 24 hours to go through it, which doesn't ensure that Parliament does its job and its oversight responsibility of the executive. So unfortunately, they wouldn't be able to do that in this Parliament. So good luck with them, and hopefully they keep dreaming about all these whatever ways they are trying to dream of, to be able to find and be able to put other things across. But I'm sure that the good people of Ghana are looking forward to the fact that the NDC, just like in the 7th Parliament, in the 8th Parliament, will ensure that everything that comes through Parliament has the good of the Ghanaian people at heart.